Hi everybody, so I'm going to take a little bit of time today to carry on working on the tulip skirt, and I've got a little bit of hand sewing to do. So I've come into the warmth, I'm in my lounge, and I'm all set up on the sofa. So the zip, I did an invisible zip with this skirt and it was beautiful. I couldn't have done a better job, but, because there has to be a but, in one little area where the waistband joined the skirt, it was so close that I couldn't get the zipper pulled up without really forcing it. So inevitably what I've done is I've unpicked it, only so much, and I'm going to go back in and I'm going to hand stitch it. So I'm really hoping then it'll run just a little bit smoother. I don't want to mess up this skirt. It's come out really nice. I'm feeling quite chuffed with it. So I'm just going to sit here, I've got my little sewing basket next to me, and I'm going to do a little bit of hand sewing. And as I say, what I want to do today, if you don't mind, I'm just going to do a regular little stitch, nothing too exciting, but it's one of those jobs that does have to be done, is I want to talk about something that I was thinking about this morning. So imagine the scene. Son's going wild, rushing for school again. I've got no shirts, I've got no trousers. And Mum springs into action. Thankfully it's my day off so I can get this sorted. But I thought, well, he's got no shirts. And then I found the pile. Mums with boys, I'm sure you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about here. There was quite a pile for me to pick up and do. And when I picked them up, I thought, my good God, somebody has trampled over these shirts. They were smattered in mud. But you know, the good news is he was playing football with the lads and he saved goals. So, you know, all's good in the world. But I took them to the sink and I started hand washing them. Now I started hand washing them, I was scrubbing them, you know, that real kind of thing. And I had this memory just come into my mind. And it was a memory of my Granny Betty, Elizabeth Horswood, Elizabeth Richardson. She is the most amazing person. She was a dancer, she was a performer, she was an operatic singer. She was my inspiration. You know, there's just some people in your life that have that kind of impact. They leave that footprint, don't they? And she, for me, was that person. She still is. I like looking at her photos still. We have them around the house. There's a beautiful little picture of her in my sewing room because she is my inspiration. I lived with her when I was 16 for a couple of years while I went to college to study art. And she is the one that taught me two really important skills. She taught me how to iron a shirt properly, you know, the military kind of properly. The fact that we iron in an order. That's a cat's tail. We iron in an order. We start with the collar. We work with the cuffs. Then there's a particular way to iron the yoke on the back of a man's shirt. And then, of course, there's the folding, and we have to fold our shirts properly. But, you know, that's a long-lasting skill that stayed with me. And it's a skill that I will pass down if I can. The other thing that she taught me was how to take up a dress. I bought a dress. I remember this dress. And it was nothing special, but it was too long. I'm quite short. But she taught me how to take it up, how to do the hem again, how to do that lovely blind hem stitch. And I got the dress that I wanted. So Gran now is 92, 93, can't quite remember. And she lives in a care home. She has dementia. And she is not the first person close to me that has had dementia. My granddad too had dementia, and he sadly passed away at the age of 91. And yes, we say to ourselves, don't we, gosh, that's a good age. But it's still sad when they go, isn't it? It's still not nice that they pass under such circumstances. I go to see Gran sometimes. It's a weird one because it's hard to see somebody that has dementia. It's hard to see them for the person that they are now rather than the person that they was. But I do go, and she's frail, you know. We can't hide away from that. She's very, very frail. And she tells me funny stories. She tells me stories about, you know, the things that she's done that day, the places that she's been, the people that she's seen, the lovely walk she's been on, how she went for coffee. She loves going for coffee. I think that's who I must take it after really. And of course, none of these things have happened. But it's good that she feels that that is what she did for the day and that she was occupied rather than actually she's laid in that bed for well over a year now. I think it might well be 2 years in December, and she's laid in that bed. At the start she didn't. She would go into the little common room with her other folk and socialise in the way they do. But for a very long time now, what she does is she lays in her bed, and she has her purse with her and her handbag, empty, there's nothing in them, bar some photos, family photos, and she sits with them and she picks them up like she didn't see them for a year, and she remembers, and her mind goes away and she starts thinking. But she smiles and she eats the jelly babies and she talks. And when I talk to her, she is my gran. She is, because she's that same personality. She's still loving. She still laughs. She thinks that, you know, life's great still. So, yeah, we feel sadness, and it is sad. But I think it is important just to try and remember that they're the same person there. I think that if we are a carer for somebody with dementia, it must be quite difficult. I think sometimes we slip into these roles. We go from being the mother of a child or the wife of a husband, but overnight, in an instant, in a heartbeat, sometimes longer, we take on a different role and we become a carer. And we have different types of responsibilities. And something I know a little bit more about, rather than dementia itself and where we get support and help, there are lots of promotions out there for dementia organisations. But I want time to think and reflect about the people who are left to be the carers and the role that they have to play and the complexities, the difficulties, the strains and the stresses of that. And I want you, if you are a carer, just to take a moment, get a cup of tea if you can, and take half an hour for yourself and take stock. And remember, there are people out there too that want to help you and want to support you. And for me personally, it was probably one of my lowest, darkest moments that I did reach out and was brave enough to contact Carers First. And Carers First were wonderful to me, and I would say I only scratched the surface of help. There is a lot of help out there, but they care about you and they want to give you support, because if we don't take care of ourselves as a carer, we will inevitably reach burnout. And if we reach burnout, what good are we to the people we're trying to care for? I'm going to put a link into the comment for Carers First, because I would really, really encourage anybody to take a look at them. There is a lot they can do, from just being some kind of counselling support, somebody who you can make a plan with, have aims for, down to being able to actually help you navigate the healthcare system, navigate benefits and all the support there. They will help you with that awful minefield of filling out paperwork, but they will help you. You don't need to keep asking, and you certainly don't need to keep struggling. So contact them, Carers First. I sewed it in, I got it done. And all being well, it's going to go down, down. Is it going to go up? Up. It's done. So all is good in this world. Take care.